Hi, David from Real Food for Life. Today is the 20th of January 2021, and I thought now was as good a time as any to start my YouTube channel, something I've been meaning to do for well over a year, but at the start of a new year, start new habits and go forward with it all. Today, I'll explain the reason why I changed my lifestyle. Initially, about 10 years ago, actually going back before that, my father had a heart attack when he was 50. And I thought, and I used to be a smoker, I was overweight, etc. And I thought, before I turned 30, I want to give up cigarettes. So I'd smoked for about 10 years, 10, 11 years on and off a little bit. Always tried to give up, never really worked. So I set myself the date of when I'm 30, I'm going to give up smoking, because my long-term health was I wanted to be healthy and avoid a heart attack like my father had at 50. Now, thankfully, he survived, but it was a major heart attack. The day I actually gave up cigarettes was the day Princess Diana passed away. So that was now 22 and a half years ago, and I haven't felt better. I started exercising back then. I lost some weight. And of course, as soon as I stopped exercising, the weight went back on. I did not change the food I was eating. About 10 years ago now, a friend of mine who was a personal trainer said, try this. And what it was do 5 kilometres walking per day, 5 times a week, eat 5 meals a day minimum. And, you know, it was good. I dropped weight. But again, it was really all exercise based. So once I stopped exercising, I put weight back on. And at that stage, I was 107 kilograms. And I did get down to about 73, 74. And some people asked if I was actually okay. They thought I might have had a terminal disease or something because I looked extremely gaunt. Once I stopped doing that, I thought, yeah, everything's great. I actually put the weight back on. And I ended up sitting up at about 97 kilograms. And I sat there for the next 6 or 7 years. Back to June 2018, I watched The Magic Pill, a video by Pete Evans, and it showed, it really opened my eyes. I am a mental health nurse. That's part of what I do. And the long-term effects of dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinsons, etc., I've always been concerned about because I actually see that when I do my nursing. At the same time, my father he was at the end of just on 13 years at that stage of having Parkinson's. And watching the way my father suffered from the disease, but also my mother, it affected her badly, and my brothers and sisters, my nieces, nephews, and my children, etc. I really wanted to avoid something like that for myself. I have 4 children and a grandson, and that's the last thing I actually want them to see me suffer, and ultimately they suffer. So I thought I need to clean my diet up. So I cut the sugars out, cut the carbohydrates. I found a eating program rather than trying to nut it all out myself and try and work it all out. And again, 2.5 years ago, there was a bit less information out there. Facebook keto groups weren't quite as big as what they are now. So I signed up and I purchased the Ketogenic Girl 28-day program. And again, it wasn't for the weight loss, it was for mental health reasons. And as a bonus, I did the initial 28 days, felt fantastic. I was in ketosis. I was testing myself. I am someone who believes in testing and counting macros just to keep myself accountable. And I dropped a little bit of weight that month, and then I continued to drop and ended up losing about 25 kilograms. So again, I got down from my 97 down to, I was sitting around 72, which I actually felt was too light, and I have come back up another 5 kilograms since then. So I sit around that 77 kilo mark, and I feel fantastic. But not only do I feel fantastic, I've had knee issues in the past. I'm now able to run a little bit again. I don't run much because there is not much cartilage left in my knees, but I definitely cycle. I cycle quite a lot. I do a charity bike ride in Thailand, and I've done that 3 times now. And actually, I should be over in Thailand currently, but with COVID, that's restricted the ride this year. So the first time I did the ride, I did it just on the standard diet. I ate carbs. I refueled with sugars via fruit cake, whatever was at our rest stops. That was the first year. So that was January 2019. January 2000, no, sorry. So that was 3 years ago. 2018 it was. January 2019, I did it as ketogenic. And one of those days was a 150 kilometre day where we were riding. The food for breakfast was very carb laden. It was cornflakes and toast. So I didn't have that. Lunchtime, it was a lot of noodles, etc. So I didn't have that. And I rode 150 kilometres, fully fasted for 24 hours. And I finished the day extremely well. Last year I did the ride again, and that time, I'd actually switched over to carnivore 18 months ago. So I did that purely on a meat-based diet, 0 carb, and I felt fantastic as well. Every day I'd get off the bike, I wasn't aching. The first year I'd get off the bike and I'd be aching. And the last 2 years I haven't been aching. And when I say it's a charity bike ride, it's not a race or anything, but it's actually 800 kilometres that we do over 8 days. So we average 100 kilometres a day. We have the long one at 150 odd, but there are some others that are in the 60s. And that's, all the money goes to the Hands Across the Water charity, of which my business supports. So I'm looking at doing these on a regular basis, probably not as long as what today's one was. It's, they'll only be short little snippets, different things I come up with, different thoughts. People have a lot of different ideas out there on what ketogenic diets are. The main thing is cut the rubbish out, cut the processed foods out, cut the seed oils for me as well. I don't have any unnatural oils, and oil doesn't come from seeds, and or it shouldn't. But anyway, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for listening. Unfortunately, or fortunately, Dad ended his suffering 23rd of March 2020. So even more of a reason for to spur me on to be healthy. He suffered for 16 years with his Parkinsons, and if I can do one little bit to stop someone else suffering that, and it is all linked. But they're showing studies about that, and I'll talk to you about some of the things we did with Dad as well with ketones and the way it affected him, and all the improvements it had for him, as well as various other things in the coming days, weeks, months, years. Anyway, have a great day, and chat to you later. Cheers, bye.